Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
All Eyes on Me, the Tupac. What's
Biopic.
Is it a
Biopic.
Biopic. Do people say that? Benny Boom is here. Benny Boom, you've been directing music videos and doing film for how long now?
Directing music videos for 18 years.
Woo! Is this your first film?
No, third film. I did Next Day Air.
Next Day Air. And what else?
Then a film called SWAT Firefight, which was a home video movie for Neil Moritz's company.
So this is your first big.
This is the first super big.
Got it.
Wow. But Next Day Air was pretty. It was independent film that Summit bought from us, and it's like
talk closer to the mic.
Cult movie a little bit.
Yeah,
cult movie.
Okay.
And you did of course just tons of videos that everyone remembers from the early 2000s.
Yeah,
late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, one of the big ones that really jumped me off was Uchi Wally when I did that, and then I Need a Girl Part 1 and 2, and then it just sort of.
How about Nelly and Kelly?
Nelly Kelly Dilemma. Yeah.
Oh wow!
I don't know if you know what that's called. That's called a smash hit.
It was a big hit.
Super smash. I've known Benny a long time. You're from Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And do people say, is it biopic or biopic? What's the actual industry?
I think it's
so you don't know
where you
either.
live, because biopic is what most people say, and then biopic is sort of, I think, it's kind of worked its way into it, trying to be proper,
Tomato.
So you don't know either. Oh, got it.
Also, real quick, sorry, I wanted to add on the video front. You just recently did No Frauds for Nicki.
No Fraud. Yeah,
so you did that over in Europe, right?
Yeah, we did it in London. She hit me, and she wanted to do a video, and she was in London, and Drake was in London, and I said, "Word, London." I said, "All right." So we did. So we went and.
Then what's that situation like? You instantly get a first class ticket. It just shows up. You demand a PJ. How's that?
No. They got the first class ticket. Yeah,
all right.
It's crazy because the crazy thing is I was shooting Tales for Irv Gotti. I did 2 episodes on there, so I had to
What's
leave.
Tales?
Tales is a TV show on BET Network that airs June 27th.
And what's that about?
It's a great show. Irv came up with this idea of doing 1-hour dramas based on classic hip hop songs.
I heard about this.
Yeah, so they have After Police is one, and I did Trap Queen and Cold Hearted. And Biggie's Story to Tell, that's another one. So it's like the reimagining of these songs as 1-hour
that's
dramas.
Dope.
It's
Sounds
a really,
dope.
It's a really cool
dope
idea.
So every week you'll be able to tune in different actors, different storylines. It's really
good job,
cool.
Irv. Go ahead, Irv.
So you're in the
That's
middle of
pretty
doing that, and then Nicki
right in the
hits
middle
you.
of doing it, and then I had to say, Irv. I said, "Yo, Irv, I gotta run and do.
Just hit this real quick."
He was like, "Yo, Nicki's a fan. Go do it. You just gotta be back here Monday."
Were you guys there
morning.
during one of the London tragedies?
So here's what happened. So we it's crazy because we literally shot at the exact same place, like to the inches of where that terrorist attack happened 2 days before.
The Manchester.
No. The first London bridge.
First
thing.
one. Is this the one where the where the man drove into the bridge? You
Oh,
remember?
right.
First bridge one.
So
Yep.
we shot on a Sunday, and that incident happened on a Tuesday. Like that couple days, it was crazy. And then and actually, I had talked to Nicki about it right afterwards. I'm like, "Yo, we was right there. That's crazy." She said, "Like she's like, I can't believe it." And we were like, kind of taking advantage of the situation because the police were just like, "It's too many people," and they were like all like nervous and stuff. Because when she walked out, I know you've seen the video, but it were way more people than we actually showed in the video. It was like hundreds of people standing around.
Yeah, you could see when Nicki had her snaps.
Really dangerous.
And they were nervous.
They were nervous, and that the police were. Now that I think back about it, it was like, man, that's it was. I'm just.
Now you know why they was nervous.
Now I know why. Yeah.
Now, real quick, just to run over this before we get into this talk about the movie, for people who may have forgotten the kind of smash videos we're talking about.
Still on Benny Boom videos.
When you go through the,
it's crazy,
bro. Youngblood's Damn. I'm just naming smashes, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Youngblood's Damn. Hard in the Paint for Waka Flocka.
Oh yeah, that was a.
Buy You a Drink. Shawty Snappin'. I don't know if you know that song. It's by T-Pain.
I never knew Shawty Snapping was a part of the title.
That's parentheses.
I never knew that.
Are you serious?
I never knew that.
Yeah, Shawty Snap. Come on, bro.
Because I was definitely studying in T-Pain.
He did
titles.
Snoop Dogg. That's that. Robin Thicke, Shooter, and Lost Without You.
Yeah, Lost Without You.
R. Kelly, I'm a Flirt remix. Sean Paul like glue.
Wow.
Hold on. I Need a Girl 1 and 2. We just said that. Nikki, Bees in the Trap, Right by My Side, Pound the Alarm, High School, and
right,
No
okay,
Frauds.
all right, thanks.
Shake Your Tail Feather.
All right.
Dilemma.
I know.
Uchi Wally.
All right.
Made You Look. Got Yourself a Gun. Dang, I'm a boss.
He's very experienced and done some amazing videos.
Love You Better. Woo, last
Laura Stiles.
No, yes. Okay, so All Eyes on Me, finally it's here, right? So because we've been reading about it, like reading headlines, blog posts, everything, trying to figure out what happened because we saw some directors, John Singleton signed up for it, then it was, then he departed. So you signed up right afterwards. Did you, because I saw John Singleton taking some shots of the movie saying that people weren't respecting the legacy of Tupac. How do you feel about that now that you completed the project?
It's unfortunate that, that John took that position. There's a lot of Hollywood, it's a lot of directors get taken off of projects in Hollywood. It just happens. It's like, they sign on for the movie for whatever reason, creative differences. That's usually what is said. Then the directors go on and they do something else. You don't hear all the conversations and backlash.
Of course, yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that John just can't let it go. His departure was before me, so I don't know all the intricate details. I know a little bit about it, but for whatever reason, it didn't match up for what LT and the producers, LT Hutton, who's the producer of the movie, what they wanted to do for the film.
And not to cut you off, but I guess inside baseball, because I am privy and have kind of been following it closely, it seems like LT has a vision and executed a vision that was based on his relationship with Tupac and LT's relationship with Afeni and LT's relationship with Suge and LT's relationship with Snoop. Like, he worked on Tupac projects, where it was on death row as a producer, the producer of this film. So his perspective is more about Tupac and what Tupac experienced than it is about what everyone else's perception of Tupac's experience. Am I saying that right?
That's right.
Because I've had honestly, because I was surprised that I didn't hear more from Snoop in promoting this film.
Snoop was, the crazy thing is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Snoop shouted out the film, but in HBO they cut it out. But we have the full version that we've been. So
I was surprised. I'm surprised I haven't seen and it may have started now that it's the marketing window.
But we asked everybody to wait till this week. So Floyd Mayweather just put his up. Like we wanted to
full court press.
Yeah, because we didn't want it to get lost in the Wonder Womans and the other stuff that's going on and just the basket in the finals. So this is our week. So all of our, I would say celebrity friends are now, you're going to start to
So you feel like Dre and Snoop and everybody's
Dre called me. I was in LA 2 weeks ago and I was headed to the airport and they're like, yo, Dre want to holler at you.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
No, come to the studio. So I'm like, man, my flight's
to the studio
at 6, right? So I had to take all my stuff and went to go holler at Dre.
So you missed your flight?
No, I got the flight.
Oh, okay.
So what did Dre want to say to you?
Dre wanted to just tell me congratulations and be ready. He said, man, how do you feel? I said, man, I feel great.
So Dre already saw the movie?
He hadn't seen it yet.
Okay.
He wants to see it when everybody else sees it. Very, very particular kind of way that he works. So
has Snoop seen it?
Oh, Snoop has seen it a bunch of times.
And what does he say?
He loves it. He's helped us.
Well, yes. I don't want to give the movie away.
That's inside. But back to that situation though. So a lot of directors get taken off of projects, and because this film has been under such a microscope, every little thing that's happened has been sort of, blown up. I know John, so I called him and spoke to him. I said, what's up? So he had a point of view that I did not agree with, in terms of why he's saying what he's saying. I'm like, look, at this point, whatever your issue is with the producers, you got to put that to the side because this is my movie now. If I went around and came up here and started bashing one of his films without saying his name, all you guys are going to look at me and be like, yo, he hating on John because I'm a director and he, you know what I'm saying? So I said, you have to take that and table it. The other part is that John's been around for a long time. He opened a lot of doors for a lot of people, inspired myself and a whole lot of other people.
Worked with Tupac, by the way.
Worked with Pac. But the reality is, and you guys can look it up or whatever, at the end of Pac's life, Pac was not rocking with John like that. You know what I mean? Like he had a phone call with Monster Cody where he talked about, he called John a coward. A lot of people when Pac was in jail, in Dannemora at Clinton, there's a lot of people that didn't come see him that he thought had his back, that did not.
And that
give
plays
him
out in
money
this
to-
film. There's a lot
you
of
know?
things that in this movie, I feel like the best thing about this film, because I seen it's out Friday, is how the nuances of Pac's relationships with Big, with the people that set him up, with the rape case and the shooting, Jada Pinkett, Kidada Jones relationship, his mom relationship, his relationship with Interscope Records.
Yeah.
You think that's the best stuff there? Is
The best stuff there is how they, because we talked many times on the air. I didn't think it could be accomplished.
Right.
I didn't think you could get all of what Tupac was into a film. I thought it needed to be a Netflix or HBO
Series.
multi-series thing
And
to
it still
have not
could be.
only the right, and it still could be, to not only have the right grit, but also to give it its just due.
Yeah. But you know what we decided was, and it's, I'm glad you brought that point up. It was about the emotional attachments, because as big as this movie is, it's still an intimate movie, because it's about one singular figure and his relationships with all these people, and how at any point in time in his life, and you've seen it, this one person could have said, "Don't do that," and it may have changed the trajectory of his life, and he might.
They
still be
definitely
here.
don't. They definitely do not shy away from Pac's flaws.
Well, I thought that's my next question was going to be like, Pac is a very complex character.
Very complex.
And I think one of the challenges in talking about Pac with Pac fans is he's been immortalized since his death. And for some reasons that I totally make sense. But you remove the human element of a guy who was very flawed.
Yeah, we take away what I've been saying in some of this press stuff is about the mythology of Tupac, and a lot of people are caught up in the mythology of him, and we strip that away in the movie and give you a human being, so that at the end of the movie we strip that away, so that at the end of the movie you're left with the emotional, the emotions of having lost somebody that you followed for 2 hours and 30 minutes on screen, and you feel that loss, and then you realize, damn, that was Pac's life, and so that's why we were able to weave these real relationships in, because everyone in here has a real relationship with their mother or grandmother or their best friend that's from the opposite sex, or their girlfriend or something like boyfriend, or whatever the case may be, and I made sure that felt real in the movie, so that you could connect.
I also say this too, because I was skeptical of was it Demetrius' name?
Yeah, Demetrius
Shipp Jr., the actor. I think he did a good job, right? Because I was skeptical that they went for somebody who looked
Just
a lot
looks
like
like him,
Pac.
yeah, and not
He
the-
did better than I expected. I'll give him that,
Yeah.
right? I also felt like when I went to see the film, I didn't have high expectations. It definitely beat my expectations for sure, and I was definitely entertained. And it definitely was young. That was the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Going into the film, you have to go in remembering Pac was 25.
Right, when he passed.
So the stupidity, and I'm saying that in a loving way,
Immaturity. Yeah.
of a 25-year-old, you see it. The financial struggles, mismanagement of money, wrong crowds, not knowing, how to play certain, like all of that is in
Too
the
much
film.
drinking and smoking and
Right,
debauchery.
partying and stuff.
Choosing the wrong path. Even
Yeah.
look, man, they even deal with Pac choosing to sign and be a part of Suge and Death Row versus staying with his original manager, who warned him and his friends about that and what that meant. Like all of that is in the film.
Are you dealing with anybody feeling or having mixed feelings about the way their character is portrayed, like a Diddy or
No, not at all.
Suge or anybody?
No, Suge's been good. Everybody on this coast that was involved in Pac's life at that particular point in time. Like when I'm from Philly, but I moved here to Brooklyn in '93. So I've been here longer actually than I've been in Philly, and I know a lot of those guys. A lot of them are in prison now and away, but I was able to have real meaningful conversations about Tupac and his life. I mean, the interesting thing is that the guys who are supposedly the ones who hurt him or wanted to do him harm, today, do nothing but say his praises. Like there's no ounce of disrespect from those guys. Like
Can we stay right there for a second?
Yeah.
Those individuals that ended up doing him some harm.
Yeah.
You know, I guess everyone at this stage doesn't even understand the amount of money that was. And you were here in New York.
Yeah.
And you were shooting music videos.
Yeah, and I was actually PAing on movies and music videos at that point in time.
And
I wasn't
up until
rapping
what
yet.
year?
Until 2000. So all of the 90s.
But the 90s, you saw it.
Yeah, I was.
You was
there
in the club
all the time. Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand the sheer amounts of money that these young people were. Like we think rappers today are getting money, and they are.
Yeah, but it was a lot of money back then because these record labels were just throwing
making
money.
so much money.
So much money, and that invited a certain crowd that lived in a different element of
Into
our
the music
society,
industry.
right? Into the music industry, and they became part of it. So when you saw your crew moving, you always recognized, like, wait a minute, is that so and so? He used to be. You know what I mean? He used to run the neighborhood, and he's
how's
now
he
with a
over here
rapper.
now? Right.
Right. And so, and that wasn't just for Pac. That was everybody. I mean, anybody you can name, from the East Coast, West Coast, or whatever. But I had meaningful conversations with guys, even to the point where Mano had gotten some phone calls about his role in the movie.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil that either. I've kind of been keeping that under.
Mano's in the trailer, so we kind of can maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
and who does Mano play again?
He plays the
He's
a
part of the
nameless
setup.
individual.
Yeah,
who,
right. But he got a call from one of the individuals who was there, and they said, "Yo, what's up, Mano?" And he knows him. They older than him, but they from the neighborhood, and they know Mano and respect him enough to give him a call, knowing that he was doing the movie, and just gave him a little insight on stuff, and told him, "Yo, do a good job." So the thing is, the support has come from everybody, really knowing that the people that are putting this together. Myself and LT, we have the best interests of both of everybody, because what we don't want this movie to do is like sort of reignite old issues.
I don't think, in seeing it, I don't
think.
think it does at all. I think it actually gives better insight into everything. I mean, look, they even address Afeni's black nationalist position and how the media at the time would see Dolores Tucker and all of that stuff. With was it Dan Quayle?
It was Dan Quayle.
It was Dan Quayle and him going after rap music
Yeah,
and
after
lyrics
Ice-T and Pac
all of
and
that.
Snoop.
All of that is in there. Like they even worked at the famous Pac jail interview. Prior to him signing the death row and putting out the it was Temptations album.
It was Me Against the World.
Or Me Against the World album.
Which is Temptations.
Which is
Temptations
Temptations.
song,
Even that whole, because remember there was that big article and he was locked down and that album came. And so you get that kind of, and like I was telling Rosenberg, I haven't really told them much about the film.
Okay.
But I did tell them that you can tell that while Pac said amazing things, social amazing things, he was just, before that Me Against the World album and that lockup, he was just a rapper trying to find his way.
Yeah. He had a voice, honestly.
And had a voice and was standing his ground and was fighting for the right things.
I mean, Quad changed his life. Quad changed his life.
That was the shooting.
His shooting in Quad changed his life because prior to that, he was speaking about revolutionary things, and thug life actually meant something. The hate you gave, little infants, F's everybody. Like he really was trying to unite the gangs and the revolutionaries all together. Being shot at Quad totally changed him because he never thought that if harm came to him, he thought it was going to be somebody white killing him. Or, so he never thought that guys that were his friends or people that he was around every day or anything like that
And you
would
could
try
hear
to
it.
do him harm.
You could hear it on him from there to the
right,
end.
so All Eyes on Me, the album, was full of him venting about that. And then Machiavelli was just, I remember hearing Machiavelli. I'm like, there's no way this could have came out while he was alive with the songs and the stuff that he was saying. I was just,
You could even hear in the beef with Biggie that he was way more affected than Biggie was.
Well, because
Biggie did not
I'm not
take
going to
that-
give it away, but that's in the film.
Yeah, Biggie did not take that nearly as seriously as
But
Pac
I also
did.
think, and I got to commend, I think also that the people around Big didn't allow him to say what he wanted to say for the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Because when Who Shot Ya came out, I remember hearing that song and saying, man, why they put that song out? Why would they put that? And he just like, it was so confusing as to why that song actually came out, and it was so dope that it was too late to pull it back or go, we can't.
But also, when you
know?
see the film, literally that question of who actually shot you. Like, you're lashing out at the wrong people, bro.
Right.
Right.
That makes more sense when you see the film.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're going after the wrong people, man. And there's a thing in the film where Big clearly comes to Pac, and this is based in, and I didn't
It's
know this
reality,
at the time.
yeah.
This is based in an actual incident on a movie set where Big goes to Pac and Big goes to the hospital, real facts, trying to make sure, and that's in the film.
All right, well, we'll leave it
Okay,
there.
that's it, yeah.
Yo, this Friday, as a hip hop fan, and you know,
Be honest, because this is and I told you this yesterday.
Yeah.
This film, I said this to him and LT Hutton yesterday. It's one of those, you're going to get a win. It's going to be a win. But there's going to be so much turmoil. It's going to, early on, it's going to feel like a lose-lose because of how Big Pac is.
But that's the thing about dealing with
You see what I'm
Pac.
saying?
Period. That's the thing about dealing
Everybody's
with
going to have a fucking opinion.
Of course.
That's just dealing with
critical.
character.
But you know what? If you make them, and this is just going back to a filmmaker thing. If you make a movie as a filmmaker and you don't create argument or conversation, then you haven't done your job. Whether it's a movie about Tupac or 12 Years a Slave or Moonlight or whatever the case may be, if after watching that movie there is not conversation about the movie, about the scenes or the actors or the storyline or something, you haven't done your job, then that means the movie wasn't worth watching, you know?
Just based off this conversation, I'll be there Friday. I'm interested. I just think it's something that if we all love this culture and care about it so much, even if you walk into the movie and you're like, that's not how I would have told the Pac story.
Right.
That's great, but that's a conversation I want to
Then
have.
they should go and get $40 million and make
exactly. You can go
back
get
to what
$40
you
million.
asked me earlier. You could go, you know, if you're that big a director, go get that money and go make it.
And I know you got to go, but I think for the audience, they need to know. Before Afeni's passing, it was rumored that there was some turmoil between her and the film. Is that true or false?
No, that's not true at all. You know, we had what's happened recently is that the estate, and not Afeni because Afeni's gone, so she doesn't have any say. She's not here anymore. So the estate now is trying to rein in the amount of Tupac movies that are happening. Not our movie, because our movie has the music, we have the estate, we have the contract signed by Miss Shakur. Like,
The state will
our
make
movie.
money off of the movie?
Yeah, they will. But there are other projects that are happening right now. I want to say the 3 or 4 other projects. Three of them dealing with the murder investigations of Biggie and Pac from
Yes,
the
that's a big
perspective
thing.
of the investigative.
There's a TV
thing.
show. I think there's a
TV
podcast
show.
I've heard about.
It's a bunch of things. So the estate is trying to separate themselves from that stuff, because that stuff is not connected to Tupac directly, and it's trying to relitigate or trying to reinvestigate the murders and the this and the that. This is a biopic, and you know that music you heard in the movie, without the estate, we don't have that music.
There was one
You know
song
what I mean?
that maybe the version I heard was weird, but how come the Humpty Dance music sounded funny to me?
Oh, we wanted to do live because they did live versions of
Got
their
it, okay,
music. So we
okay.
wanted to give people.
I was like, wait, they didn't get clearance for the Humpty Dance.
No,
What's going on?
We
They
had
had
that.
clearance for everything.
But if you hear it, it's played live.
Got
And
it.
what we did in the movie, without giving a bunch of stuff away, we that was a live performance because Digital Underground used to do live
Yes, they did.
performances.
Yes, they did.
And so we wanted to give it. And you
Shock
know,
G's
it's
a-
the
And are there
Oakland-
two
it's the
actors
Oakland
who
thing.
play Shock G and Humpty Hump? I just want to.
No, it's one guy.
It's
One guy.
one
What?
brother.
Humpty Hump. And you thought this whole time Shock G and Humpty Hump were two different people?
Whoa, bro! Spoiler
Mind
alert!
blown.
Yo, Benny, congratulations,
Yo,
man!
thank you guys. Thank you.
Good
June
luck.
16th,
Thank you.
man. Everybody, you know, I think they have Thursday night in a lot of different, I think
Midnight.
28 cities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Midnight screenings, which actually I think are 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Nice.
And then,
And
you
shout out
know.
to the guy who played Snoop Dogg. You crushed it,
Yo,
bro.
man.
You
Jared,
crushed it.
Lil Jared.
Shout out to Benny Boom, director of All Eyes on Me, the Tupac biopic. Just left. And now the character, the young lady who plays Angie Martinez.
Yay, Leon.
Yes.
How
Hi,
are you
guys.
today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Blessed.
Yo, it's well first, I love that our logos are in the film. Which is amazing.
That's fantastic.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Someone signed off.
Yeah, someone signed
Good.
Yes.
And it's actually, I didn't know how it would be when I heard that there was an Angie Martinez character in the film, I didn't know how it would be used. So first, shout out to LT Hutton and everybody else who wrote us into the Tupac film.
Yes.
But it's a very important moment in the film. And I think something that, and I don't want to give it away. I don't know how to do this, guys. I need your help, Laura Rosenberg.
Okay.
It's basically the point where Snoop says he loves B.I.G. and loves Pac also. And they're in the middle of the beef, which I think a lot of people forget Snoop said that and did that. Which created a bit of a friction between Pac and Snoop, which Pac ended up passing, and Snoop and Pac never
Spoke again.
again or ironed out their stuff, which Snoop talked about at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think. But that scene for you, how much research did you do on?
I did.
Get close to the mic for us, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was really hard I found a script pretty much on I think it was allhiphop.com that showed the interview between Snoop and Angie. So, but I couldn't get audio of it. So it was really, it took me forever to even find it and then find out what led up to that about, the incident with Nas and Pac the night of the MTV Awards and how Angie had addressed Snoop about, him not taking sides. So it took me a lot. There's really no audio from back then. So it was really hard for me to find it and then kind of get Angie's tone on it. And I just had to take the way that I see the way she does her interviews now and put that into how I assumed that she took it. Cause it wasn't word for word, what I did find. So yeah, it was really hard to find anything on it.
Did you get to speak to Angie at all and talk about this and talk about the role and how does she feel about you playing her?
I didn't not before. I met with her last week, but I'm of course her book would come out after I went crazy trying to find as much on her as I could. But I didn't want her to be weirded out because she's alive and I'm playing her. So I had sent her flowers right after I finished shooting, just to be I'm playing you and who I am. So when we met last week, I changed in the film I look really different. My hair is brown because I'm playing her in 95. They took my eyebrows off. Everything is just I look really
that was
different.
Angie with the 90s eyebrows,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The thin joints.
I look mad different in the film. So when I was there, I was do you see it? She didn't. She was I'm not really sure. Maybe because I look different. But everyone in the room kept saying that they heard it. I guess just being around her
I could hear in your natural voice quality, though, that you could have Angie's voice
But
quality.
you put on a voice in the film. You had an Angie voice, I feel in the film. You tried to get her laugh. There's definitely a laugh.
Yes.
And there's definitely Angie's kind of yo, Snoop. So, the whole.
Yes, she had a
Angie
90s
thing,
yo-yo
yeah.
vibe going on for sure.
Wait, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw the film.
Okay.
It's
Why
a real
do you say
movie.
that?
No, I
It's
didn't
people have
see
seen
yet.
it.
No, I
Oh,
didn't
you
see
haven't
it.
seen
you
No,
it?
I
haven't
didn't see
seen it?
yet.
Oh,
So I was the
wow.
premiere, so I haven't seen it
Oh,
yet.
yeah, I saw it already.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's
Is there
amazing.
anything you want to know? about the film you're in?
No, I'm gonna wait.
All right.
I'm gonna wait. Yeah.
But I think you did a great. I didn't know what to expect, and we just had Benny Boom here, and I had low expectations for the film, and I think that's because I'm a fan of Pac's music. I lived and was on and in media in the 90s, so I was privy to a lot of things that were taking place. And so, you can romanticize your past in a certain way that makes you feel like things were a certain way, but they actually weren't. And so when I went to see the film, I found myself remembering that I was also in my 20s in the 90s. And the film is very young. It's kids. Jada's a kid. Pac's a kid.
It's true.
Snoop's a kid. These are kids that we're watching try to navigate drug dealers, guns, the music industry, relationships, the government coming at Pac. It's a lot. When you go back, you're oh, wait, hold up. This was serious,
Yeah.
So you're not are you confident in what you've done? You haven't seen any of the edits or anything?
No. I'm confident. I really care about Angie seeing it. I'm obviously to make Benny and LT happy, but I was I want to make her proud. I feel being from here, growing up, listening to her, I'm almost you should know better. To do her right. But no, I mean, as an actor, I'm nervous. Anytime I see anything I do, I don't know. I don't really know any actor that likes watching themselves.
When you went for the auditions, you specifically went for that role?
The funny thing is that I had like I went through like an actor moment. So I had taken like a little break from acting. I was just like going through some stuff. I was like, I need a minute. And like two other actors had sent me the breakdown. They were like, yo, you remind me, Angie, you should go in for this. So I was like, I'm good. But then my agent sent it to me. So I was like, I have to. So she sent it to me at like 3:00 on a Friday. I had to have it in on tape by like 5. Then they called me on Saturday morning if I could be in Atlanta by Monday. And they just said like, everything's cool, but just work on her voice. Like it was just like the voice was like the biggest thing. I forgot your question. What did you ask me?
No, did you? I was going to ask you if you read specifically for that role because you know how some people go and they read for one character and then they up getting another one.
Yeah. And I even like I improv'd, I ad-libbed because there's just like certain things that Angie says that like there's just certain words that
New York things.
Yeah. So I just like threw them in my audition. I added in like Hot 97. I just went in and was like, if I'm flying to Atlanta, I'm gonna make sure that like.
Where are you from?
From Jersey.
What part?
Lyndhurst.
Lyndhurst, got it. And you Puerto Rican also?
I'm Cuban.
Cuban.
Yeah.
Got it. So all right, a little different.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican and
They're
Jays.
close though.
Puerto Rican and Jays. Like
Jersey,
literally.
everything's slightly close.
New York and Jays.
Sure, yeah, New York and Jays, Puerto Rican and Jays. Very cool. Well, congratulations. It's an amazing opportunity. You must be so psyched to go to the premiere tomorrow.
I am. I'm really, really excited.
And wait, and Angie hasn't interviewed Angie from the movie yet?
Yes, we did. We met.
You met?
Yeah,
but
we met.
Was
last
it an
week.
interview?
No, we did an interview.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, we did
Got
an
it.
interview.
Got it.
Yeah, but I wanted to tell you when we were on set, there was a picture of you on the wall. So I said to them, I was like, I'm not really sure that Ebro worked there in 1995.
I wasn't. But I appreciate them putting me on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
But there was a
wow.
picture on the wall.
But
and
it
like
wasn't in the film. I didn't see it in the film.
No. When I had said it to like one of the set people.
Yeah, they need to get that out of
The
there.
set looked crazy. Like it literally looks like there was more Hot 97 signs on set than there is like in here.
I'm
right
sure.
now.
I'm sure. Yeah, well, you have to
Oh
make
no,
it
there's
look.
mad logos.
Mad logos.
Logos on the mic, the walls. The walls are this color.
Yeah, it looks
Does
really
the setup
good.
of the room like this or no?
It's smaller a little bit.
I have a
but
picture
it's
I can
close.
show you guys. No, but it looks really, really good. But when I saw
Snoop
like
sitting there, Angie sitting here. Board, all this stuff is here.
everything, yeah. It's
Nice. Who plays Patty Duke?
Patty Duke, she didn't. You know what? And I'm gonna tell you, that's the inaccuracy of the film. She didn't have anybody running the board.
Oh, what a joke!
So you also used to date Drewski too, our compadre.
Yes.
What, you don't want us to bring that up?
No, it's
Is this
love.
bad or good?
No, it's all good. It's
Oh
love.
well, I mean, because we could not bring it up.
No, it's cool.
Sure.
And
It's cool.
okay,
Well, because that's how we met. So I didn't.
Yes.
you were very full disclosure in this show. We're always very
I'm transparent. I didn't know it was like, but you definitely just gave me the vibe of like.
No, but she didn't say.
Really,
She said
this
it's
is
cool.
where we're going.
Really?
She said it's all love.
No,
though.
it's cool. It's
Okay.
all love for Drew.
Which is
yeah.
also interesting for us because it's like a certain connection that you had already. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because he used to produce.
Drewski worked for
obviously,
Angie, right? So it is.
Martinez.
Right.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
So we won't go, without going into specific details of your relationship. How is it watching the guy who you were with for a long time end up in sort of the spotlight in like this like public love and hip hop version of Drew? What is that like to watch after you've been with someone?
I thank God every day that I'm not on Love and Hip Hop.
That's not what you would have
No,
wanted.
it's absolutely not. Like I even when we were together, like he wanted to do it, but I was like, I'm an actor. I would look crazy. Like I'm not doing it. So I know he wanted to do it. So I'm honestly really, really happy for him. Like I pray for him. I'm even happy for his girl. I'm happy that they're engaged. Like it's love. I think people just grow apart. We were together since we were little. Teenagers,
right.
you know. So
A
I'm happy for
lesson-
him. I'm really happy for him.
A true lesson in non-pettiness. I just want to say that it wasn't even fake. It didn't even come off as fake. It came off as actually legit. That was
She's
very
in the
nice.
Real.
Tupac film
It's real.
and
As an
not
actor.
as an actor and not on Love and Hip Hop. You think she would be petty right now?
Good point. Very good point. Well said.
Well, it's a pleasure talking to you. Wow, I can't believe I've actually seen the film and you haven't. I'm kind of bugging off that.
That happens more than you would think.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And is that just because that you don't get invited to screenings, or that's just not how the process?
Well, they're not pressed. They're not pressed to have her see the movie. They're pressed to have you see the
Yeah,
movie.
they don't. They already like paid me.
Yeah,
like,
what are they- like,
oh,
used
done,
you
you're done.
already.
You-
Yeah,
yeah.
we
Yeah,
don't
like
need
Damn,
you see it
son.
when you see it, but like they
Yeah.
need people who have a loud
Damn.
voice to see the movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That must feel. It kind of feels nuts, right?
It does. That's why I was surprised when you were talking like you saw it. I was like, wait, because I don't think Angie saw it yet.
Bro, they had a junket in LA and showed it last week too. It's been getting shown.
Yeah.
It's definitely been getting. I haven't seen it, but it's definitely been getting shown.
Well, it's in theaters Friday.
Yo, Buster,
right.
Buster told me, Buster has seen it 4 times. I'm
See?
walking into the screening and Buster, how about this? The screening I went to was 2 doors down from where Quad Studios used to be. So I'm going to see the Pac screening last week, and I'm getting out of the Uber like, yo, he got shot right there.
Crazy.
And the screening's right here at some
Crazy.
place
That's
called
crazy.
Mango
Yeah.
Studios or something. So that was bugged. So I'm kind of tweaking. And then Busta Rhymes is standing outside because he's recording at that studio, and he's at, what is that, Tonic, right? There's like right on Broadway. Or was that, no, it's 7th. Right in Times Square, like 49th and 7th. And Buster's right there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to screening right here. And he was like, yo, I seen it like 4 times. I cried.
Well,
Buster's emotional.
Buster's very
Yeah,
emotional
yeah,
about
yeah.
hip
But
hop.
nonetheless,
and-
he was very into the film. And
Yeah.
to hear that Snoop's into the film, I mean, this bodes well. This bodes
Yeah.
well for the film. Are you worried about any backlash or anything? Because, I mean, it is Tupac. You are playing Angie Martinez, 2 very beloved individuals in our culture. Are you concerned?
I'm not because of who's a part of the film. Like, even when I was on set, to be honest, the film taught me a lot, about Tupac, the Black Panther movement. Like, I didn't know about that. Like, I didn't learn about that growing up. So the film taught me a lot. And then being on set, one of Tupac's uncles, who was like a big part in the Black Panther movement, like to see him on set, like watching the feedback. I remember watching him and Benny like pull up some footage to like kind of get like his okay. It's like the Outlaws were on set. Like, everybody, LT, like they grew up with him. So it's like if you're not gonna do your guy wrong, if it's their project. Like, it's Hollywood's, yes, but I feel like it's their baby.
Yeah,
So,
I've had the opportunity to speak to LT about it, who's very passionate about making sure that this is true to Tupac's vision of how his life was, and not everyone else who was around Tupac. Like, it's
Right.
very much, would Afeni be happy with this project? Would Pac be happy with this project? Would Matula Shakur, Pac's stepfather, be happy with this project? With Asada, like, we had like real convo about that. So it's dope, and he's confident that they will.
Yeah, me too.
So, all right, well, Friday.
Friday, it's out, June 16th.
Yay,
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank
Good
you,
seeing you
guys.
again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any more films in the works?
I'm working on something. I just started writing something, and I'm gonna partner up with an artist. He's been in the business for a long time.
So you're working.
So I'm working.
All right, well, we're here, man, to help you out, okay?
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
take care.